Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants, and distinguished guests, it is with great pleasure and honor that I stand before you today to introduce a true visionary and a leading expert in the field of taxation and finance, CA advocate Bimal Jain ji. CA Bimal Jain is a renowned chartered accountant, a member of ICAI since 1994, with an exceptional reputation for his expertise in tax laws, compliance, and financial strategies. With an illustrious career spanning over 21 years, he has been a driving force in shaping and influencing India's taxation landscape. His vast knowledge and profound insights into the ever evolving tax regulations have made him a sought after authority in the industry. And this is not all. He has a bachelor's degree in law and a qualified SAP financial control consultant, plus 18 years of working experience in companies like LG, Honda, Hindustan Development Corp, Python and Company, and now an executive director of A to Z Corp. The legendary Bimalji is having hands-on experience in providing opinion and advisory services, carrying diagnostics of business operation review, structuring of business model undertaking dedication services at all the appropriate forums. Bimal Jain ji has also been a keynote speaker at Guinness World Records made by ICSI in the largest taxation mission on GST, which was graced by 4,500 participants, breaking the record of Japan. He has won numerous awards from Amity School Noida, Best Speaker Award from NIRC, ICAI, ICWAI, Young Achievements Award at Igniting Minds at 2015, and also Best Participating Award in NSOP 117th batch by the ICSI. Truly a man of many hats and adversaries. As we gather here today for this enlightening webinar, we are privileged to have CA Bimal Jain ji as an esteemed speaker. Throughout this session, I'm sure that he will provide us with invaluable insights, cutting-edge strategies, and practical solutions to the challenges faced in the world of taxation. With this, I'll hand over this dais to CA Bimal Jain ji. And before that, I'll also request KPN, a very esteemed member of our Zoho company, as having around a decade of experience in alliances and business strategies, global and India. So the dais is all for you for KPN and CA Bimal Jain ji. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's a fantastic introduction, my colleague, Mr. Harsh. And thank you, Bimal ji. Thank you for joining us. And good evening to all the audiences, all the attendees of this webinar. Bimal ji, I think I'm not sure if you recollect. This is probably the 15th or 16th webinar we are jointly doing, and excellent journey it is. That's what I should say, because the kind of topic that we were throwing in front of the audience and the kind of interest that the audience were showing in us. You look at the number, that is the number of attendees that is increasing day by day. That is something amazing. So I was actually thinking, like in the last for 1.5 years, we have always been talking about business and laws and amendments and all those only. So many people whom I interact with would definitely they are very keen to understand something about your background also as a person. So I thought, why not I join you and ask a couple of questions before you start the webinar. So here is my first question to you, Bimal ji. So I have actually gone through some of your achievements and your studied little bit about your personal background, and you are, correct me if I'm wrong, you are born and brought up in Kolkata and married of a girl of your choice from Gwalior, Beena ji. And then you never would want to move back to your family business. And I understand that none from your family has a professional background, like a chartered accountant, doctor, or lawyer. I'm not sure. So you as a person wanted to be unique and not joining your family background or family business, you come to this profession. Can you elaborate a little bit on that for the benefit of me and my team and for the audience?
Thank you, Mr. KP from Zoho Books. I'm really delighted to have this journey together. That this journey of growing stronger together. It is a tag word for GST, but Bimal Jain with Zoho Books, really we are growing stronger together. And all the participants who are joining our webinar are, I'm sure, getting benefited. Yes, after my introduction, I'm now being posted a query by you, and I really appreciating the way you have picked up some of my background and wanted to ask these queries. Yes, I born at Calcutta, brought up at Calcutta, did my graduation from St. Xavier's College, passed my chartered accountancy in Calcutta. We were having our own business, but day one, when I was studying as a chartered accountancy, I was firm in my mind that I want to do something of my own. Doing something of own will give you the satisfaction, and you always feel like you're the king of your own kingdom. And that is the mesmerizing feeling which I was having when I was doing my chartered accountancy. Even though I was having an option to carry on the business of my family, but I felt like, no, I want to do something different, something unique, which can really give my, my image, my individual image, that I am so and so, and which I have done by myself. And let me tell you to my audience and KP that none of my family members or precedings, any from my any family connects, we are not having a single professional. I'm the first one who did qualify chartered accountant, and I did not join business, but vision was very clear that I wanted to start something of my own. Challenge was there. I could have carried on with doing business with my family, could have been settled easily. No challenges would have come to my way. But I felt like, no, let me throw challenge to myself and let me make something of my own which I can cherish. And my journey of 94 till today, 2023, I'm really finding myself what I thought was the correct decision. And today, when I have really grown up like this, with the best wishes, love and affection of my all participants, I feel like I have taken a right decision in my career. I can only say that yes, initially you may find some challenge when you decide something of your own. But once you start walking, you will definitely get something which you're looking for. And it is good to take a challenge rather than getting into settled field, comfort zone. It is better to come out of comfort zone and try to do something different. And that is what Zoho Books and our CEO, Mr. Sridhar, has done for Zoho. And he's a leading example. So I am just one of the story, but Mr. Sridhar of Zoho Books is the story for all of us together. Even today, he's sitting in a village, staying in a village where power is not there, a lot of infrastructure missing, internet connection is missing, but still he loved his passion of giving his best to the community. That is called real CSR, corporate social responsibility. So when you posted a query to me, it is getting connected with Mr. Sridhar of Zoho Books. He is a leading example. I'm just following the path of Mr. Sridhar. Your voice is not coming. You have to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Okay, am I audible now? Yes.
Yes, it's audible now.
It's awesome and fantastic, Bimalji. In fact, people will be. In fact, I am surprised. Like, how come a married man who is employed with a company like LG, in half the way he is leaving the job and starting something of his own. And if I were in your place, I may not have done this, because in those days, even you recollect in 90s and all the infrastructures were not there. There were not a lot of companies, and you don't know what you have to do. So you will become indecisive, and on one side you have a family, and you would definitely don't want to take that risk of leaving the job and starting something of your own. But again, that is I can say that it is a killer instinct that you had, and your dedication and your target oriented, task oriented, then you are able to make it. At one point, I recollect, Bimalji, you always used to say, the sincerity, dedication, commitment, and hard work. of course, even my father has taught the same thing to me also. Like even today, I follow that. These four principles which you should have, the four qualities that you should possess. For the benefit of the audience, I would just request you to talk something on this, because these vital qualities are very much important for you to bring up your career, or building up your capability and life, and these things are instrumental in building up your life. So can you throw some lights on this, so that the young entrepreneurs or young generation can, or probably who are listening to this, can understand it a little better on these four qualities which I am talking about?
KP is very simple. See, when we were doing chartered accountancy, you must be recalling whatever degree we have done, whether chartered accountancy or company secretary or cost accountant or lawyer, or you're a computer science or mechanical engineer, civil engineer. What are the basic qualities we should have? The basic qualities which we require. There is some vibration going on. The basic qualities which we require, and I would invite all the participants to say in question answers tab, because in question answers tab we can interact with each other. We really need to have sincerity. See, if at all I want to pass out my degree, I need to put sincerely my efforts. I should be committed and dedicated to what I'm looking for, and I should be honest to myself. I should not be bluffing to myself. If at all I'm putting my sincerity, dedication, commitment, and that too honestly, I'm telling you, next is the God. And Almighty God always look after us. When we are putting so much, I'm damn sure I'm telling you that God will definitely help us. And He will take us through to the target which we think in our life. And my audience, my viewers, my friends, everyone can say in a question answer tab that these are the basic 4 qualities important, not only for getting qualification, but even when you're doing the job. If you're working in any company and you want to grow and prosper yourself, don't we require sincerity? Don't we require dedication? Don't we require commitment? Don't we require honesty? See, these are the basic qualities we must have. If we are having these qualities, I'm telling you, it's my challenge that yes, everything will fall back to our expectation. We have to really do it properly with those kind of qualities. And that is what I did in my career. That is the reason when I left LG Electronics, where I was all India head taxation, I was married, having family commitment, but I was having a challenge in my life. I throw this challenge to myself. I said, Bimal, you're doing this job. How long you would be doing this job? Try to do something different. Come out of box and do something different, which can give you some different flavor, different positioning, and different visibility. And that's what this challenge which I have taken. And with these qualities, believe me, God is so kind. I got what I thought of. And today, what I am today in front of you, it is all coming out because I'm getting so much of love and affection. But rest assured, first of all, we have to help ourselves. See, when we are traveling in a flight and air hostess announcing, and when there's a list of oxygen, first you need to put oxygen plug in your mouth. So first, we have to help ourselves. If we help ourselves, yes, then we can help others as well. So first, put the target for yourself. Once you succeed, then you start giving your PSR and CSR to the community, to the family, to the society, to the nation, to the worldwide. And that is how everything goes in order. But only thing which is very, very important, which is silver lining for each one of us, be sincere, be dedicated, be committed, and be honest. Whatever you decide, you put honestly to that. Then you will reach where you wanted to.
That's very nice of you, Bimal ji. In fact, I wanted to ask you more questions, especially on the spiritual front also. So, like now the 4 qualities you have, and I believe one more thing, like 50% you and 50% God. So you do your 50%, and the rest 50 will come to you, with God's blessing. And also you always used to say Prabhu par vishwas karo, which I always follow. Prabhu par vishwas, unke upar chodo, he will handle, he will give you the best. And one more thing which I practice is samay ko thoda samay dena chahiye. Give some time to time, and time will prove that what is right and what is wrong. So it is applicable in the business also. It is applicable in the personal life also. Thank you for this support, Bimal ji. So would like to join in all the session that is going to come in the months to come. So over to you, Bimal ji. You can start your session. People are eagerly waiting to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you, KP, for this lovely introduction and quick question on my background. But let me tell you one or two more things, and then I will start today's presentation. Give time to time to come out the truth. Sometime we need not require to answer every question. Something we should leave it to God, and time will say. That is how I said, give time to time. Samay ko bhi thoda samay dijiye. Time will say what is right, what is wrong. If you are right, none can prove you wrong. None can prove you wrong. It is only time sometime we may have challenge. It is time sometime we may have struggling. It is time sometime we may have bad page or bad timing. But that does not mean that if I'm really true to myself, I'm sure to succeed. I will definitely win. You have seen the career of Virat Kohli, the life example. Sometime he was failing in his career. He's a very good batsman, undoubtedly, but it may come to anyone's life. That is the reason I'm telling you, if something bad phase comes in a life, we should not let us down. Rather, we should preparing more, doing well, trying our best. And that should be the continuity. We should be honest to ourselves with the sincerity, dedication, and commitment. And this is sure, God takes the exam of those who are brave. So let's give the exam to the God. God, I will do my best. And pray to the God, God, I'm doing my best. Honestly, I'm doing my best. Look after me. Look after my family. Look after my society. Look after my nation. Look after my world as a whole. I can only tell you, अच्छा सोचिए, अच्छा मिलेगा. चीनी डालेंगे तो मीठा ही मिलेगा. नमक नहीं मिलेगा. So try to, spread the sweet happiness. This fragrance will come. If the fragrance is so good, it will definitely give good to you and to others as well. And that is what this word all about. Jaisa karenge, वैसा भरेंगे. So try to do best as possible. Shall I start my presentation then?
Absolutely, Bimal. All yours.
So, KP, thank you very much for your lovely introduction. And sorry, participants, we have taken your time. KP started asking those questions. It was not related to the topic, but he thought I should give the answer of those, pointers. We have taken your 10-15 minutes time. Hope you have enjoyed this 10-15 minutes of Bimal Jain career, and how Bimal Jain all about today. But this is all, when I say Bimal Jain, I never treat myself as individual. I always treat myself, I'm the part of you. I'm the part of you because you are giving me so much of love and affection. I really owe this life to each one of you. Your love and affection made me so proud, happy, and always when you love so much, I always feel like I'm accountable and responsible. And to that extent, I always try my best. So you have given your time. Thank you very much. You have listened so many questions of mine. Thank you very much. And let's start today's webinar. Okay. So today's topic is very, very interesting and very, very important. The first and foremost, I'm going to touch base some of the important recommendation of 50th GST Council meeting, and thereby certain circular and notifications are being issued. Quickly, 10-15 minutes, I will touch base those important recommendation and circular, which is very much important for you to digest in GST. The first one. You have seen that the GST Council in their 50th meeting had given relaxation for certain supply of goods or services. Like one of the examples, supply of raw cotton, including kala cotton, by agriculturist to cooperative. Normally, it is subject to RCM, reverse charge method. So cooperative are supposed to pay GST under reverse charge method. But what happened in the past, there was confusion and doubt. Lot many recipient subject to RCM, they have not paid GST liability. So GST Council in their 50th meeting has announced certain relaxation. One of the relaxation pertaining to this raw cotton supplied by agriculturist. But here important is they have said as-is basis. What is the meaning of as-is basis? Meaning of as-is basis is, if you have not paid the GST, which you are supposed to under RCM, no problem. No demand would be there on you. Past period liability. But in case you have paid the GST, then what they are saying, if you have paid the GST, then you cannot demand a refund of the same. You would be asking the question to the government that one side government is giving relaxation to those who are defaulter. On other side, those who are genuine and honest taxpayer, if they have paid the liability which is otherwise relaxed for the defaulter, then those who have paid, they must be refunded back, right? That would be our question. But let me tell you this part. As-is basis means if you have not paid, no demand. But if you have paid, then they will not give you the refund. And to this extent, I disagree. Genuine and honest taxpayer must be rewarded. If something which is not chargeable for either or region, if that is being paid and collected by the government, that would be without authority of law in terms of Article 265 to the Constitution of India. But I'm only clarifying what is the meaning of as-is basis. Second important recommendation and notification is also out. If you are a goods transport agency, for choosing an option, forward charge method or reverse charge method, choosing an option, there's a time period prescribed, 15th of March of preceding financial year, following the same in the next financial year. Now, this period is increased from 15th March to 31st March, and this option is being enabled from 1st of January of preceding financial year. An added advantage, once you have chosen the option forward charge, it will continue and carry forward for succeeding years. You need not require to choose the option year-wise unless otherwise you want to go back to reverse charge. Simple. If you have chosen forward charge, it will continue for future succeeding years as well. Year-wise option need not require to be chosen. Unless otherwise you want to go back to reverse charge method. This is the next recommendation. Third one. If you are going to a cinema hall and you are purchasing certain food and beverages, then there was dispute was, if you are purchasing a ticket, cinema ticket for watching a movie, and you are also purchasing food and beverages, what would be the GST rate? Recommendation made is on food and beverages, now GST rate would be 5% with no ITC, even for the cinemaplexes. But keep to your mind, these cinema halls are charging a particular amount which is inclusive of inclusive of food and beverages. So there is no bifurcation. Then in that case, it is composite supply. So any cinema ticket over and above 100 rupees, inclusive of food and beverages, which is not separately bifurcated, then GST rate would be 18%. So simple, if it is bifurcated, then food and beverages 5% and cinema ticket would be 18% if charges is 100 rupees or more per ticket. Coming to the next recommendation. If director providing a service in the capacity of director to the company or body corporate, it is subject to reverse charge method GST to be paid by the company or body corporate. But there was certain confusion. For that, recommendation is being made. There is circular also in June 2020, but still this recommendation is being made. To provide clarity, please keep to your mind. If director is working as an employee, whole-time director, and drawing salary from the company or body corporate, and on that salary, TDS, income tax TDS is being deducted under section 192, then no reverse charge, no GST under reverse charge in the hands of company or body corporate. For simple reason, if salary paid to the director, then salary is being considered in lieu of employment, which is neither a supply of goods nor supply of services. Schedule 3. Second clarity. When director providing services to the company or body corporate in capacity of director, and such body corporate or company paying director's fees, meeting fees, or some other amount by whatever name called, and that is being considered as a professional or technical fees, and TDS is being deducted under section 194J of IT Act, then that is being considered as if service provided by such director in the capacity of director. Then RCM going to be applicable in the hands of body corporate or company. Third situation, maybe a director is also providing services to the company or body corporate in the capacity of director. Let's assume. Alongside, he is also letting out his commercial immovable property to the company. Then company is paying rent to this director towards that letting out of commercial property, commercial immovable property. Question was, and confusion was, whether this rent paid by the company to the director towards renting out of commercial immovable property is subject to RCM. Answer is big no. This letting out of property is not in the capacity of director. It is in the hands of director who is letting out commercial property to the company or body corporate will be chargeable under forward charge method. Forward charge method. It means director need to get registered if his aggregate turnover is more than 20 lakh rupees. And he needs to charge GST accordingly to the body corporate or company. So this amount is not subject to RCM. So this was the recommendation. So I hope you're getting all these clarity which I'm trying to provide. Now, next point was, they have clarified 28% GST rate going to be levied on horse race, casino, and online gaming. Now, this recommendation is coming out as, lot of online gaming company has come out in public domain, and they are saying that survival to their business is now problematic. See, you'd be knowing Karnataka High Court judgment on Gamescraft for 21,000 crore rupees demands. Notice got vacated because online gaming, there are two components. Online gaming, which is game of chance and game of skill. It can't be equated, right? It can't be equated. Game of chance can be betting and gambling, but game of skill cannot be betting and gambling. But now GST Council has said, irrespective of fact, whether online gaming is a game of chance or game of skill, at par with the horse race and casino, it is 28% GST leviable, and that too on full bet value. Full bet value. So this is creating, some kind of turmoil in the mind of online gaming companies. And GST Council is going to sit for another 51st GST Council meeting through virtual mode on the 2nd August. How to levy this 28%. So they will provide mechanism and the basis of this 28% levy. Next change, GST Appellate Tribunal. 6 years of GST gone. And we have seen that the GST Appellate Tribunal is not formed. Lot many provision got amended and substituted. White Finance Act 2023 pertaining to formation of GST Appellate Tribunal. Now, all such provision which got amended and substituted in GST law now going to be notified from 1st of August 2023. Even the rule for appointment and condition of service of the president and members of GST Appellate Tribunal, that rules are supposed to be notified at the earliest. So government is planning to get this GST Appellate Tribunal formed, and they have inherent target that by 1st January 2024, we will see that the formation of GST Appellate Tribunal. So good step. Let's wait and watch. Next one. Relaxation. Those whose aggregate turnover, registered person whose aggregate turnover up to 2 crore in financial year 22-23. We are supposed to file annual return GSTR 9, and composition dealer are supposed to file GSTR 9A. If your aggregate turnover is up to 2 crore, then you are exempted. No need to file a 9 and 9A. And to that extent, CGST rule 80 going to be amended. So notification will come. If your aggregate turnover is more than 2 crore, then obvious you need to file GSTR 9. But one more relaxation, that if it is up to 5 crore in financial year 22-23, then you are being relaxed not to file self-certified reconciliation statement GSTR 9C. So GSTR 9C would be required only when your aggregate turnover is more than 5 crore in financial year 22-23. So before I move further, can I see in a chat box that you can say yes, that you are getting it, whatever I'm conveying to each one of you? In question answer, not chat box. Sorry to say, this chat box is not enabled properly today. You can write yes in question answers tab, so that I would be getting a feel that you all are getting to see video and audio? I do not know. Are you able to see my video and audio? Can you say yes in a question answers tab? May I request once again? Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
Bimal,
It can be viewed. First, I can't hear you.
Yeah, Bimalji, can you hear me now? It's you are audible and video is working fine now.
Okay, all right. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, if some of you are having challenge, my request to each one of you that you may, look at your internet connections. That would be my request to each one of you. Now, having said that, next, you would be knowing that one amnesty scheme was announced for non-filing of GSTR 4, 9, GSTR 10, revocation of cancelled GST registration, or withdrawal of base judgment order under section 62, and date was 30th June 2023. This is now extended to 31st August 2023. 31st August 2023. So you can take a note of it. Next change. Whenever we are transporting gold or precious stones, as on date, it is no eBay bill requirement is there, but now government is going to propose compulsorily generation of eBay bill for movement of gold or precious stones. Even state can decide a threshold amount for intrastate movement. So that is being relaxed and given in the hands of respective state, but government and GST Council has principally decided there would be eBay bill requirement for movement of gold and precious stones. Going forward, registration. You know the background. In registration, a lot many fake registration government has traced out. There was special drive against the fake registration pan-India, and this drive was running till 15 July 2023. Now they are also strengthening registration process, and in that process they are suggesting, and to that extent there would be amendment in CGST rule, which is yet to be notified. But what is being recommended, that when you are going for GST registration, you have to compulsorily mention your bank account details linked with the PAN card. And that too, let's say we have taken registration and this detail is not provided, 30 days window is being given to you. You need to compulsorily furnish the detail of your bank account linking with your PAN card pertaining to the GST registration. If you have not provided the details, then you will not be allowed. I'm telling you, they will stop your furnishing of GSTR1. They may suspend your GST registration through system. And once you provide this bank account details, there would be auto revocation. Auto revocation. So please bear in your mind, they are strengthening this GST registration process as well. Going further, there's one rule 88C, difference of GSTR 1 versus GSTR 3B. A registered person, let's say you are showing your outward supply and its corresponding liability in GSTR 1, say 10 lakh rupees. But you are paying liability only 1 lakh rupees to GSTR 3B. So there is a difference of 9 lakh rupees. Rule 88C already got notified from 27 December 2022. Now, as per this rule, what they are saying, you will get automatic notice, deficiency notice, Part A DRC 01B, which you need to reply within 7 days. Within 7 days. Either you pay this difference of 9 lakh rupees, or you reply within 7 days, Part B of DRC 01B. If you don't pay or don't reply, then there would be recovery from your bank account. And to that extent, rules are going to be amended and these mechanisms are going to be put so that recovery can be made from such defaulting supplier who got difference in GSTR 1 versus GSTR 3B. Hope you all are getting, and it is just to strengthen the system. Having said that, next stage, matching of credit. We all know that from 1st January 2022, whatever credit we are availing in 3B must be matched with GSTR 2B. Must be matched with GSTR 2B. But sometime, and for an example, you can take, let's say you have availed credit of 10 lakh rupees in your 3B. But 2B is showing only 5 lakh rupees. So there's a difference of 5 lakh rupees. So what they are saying, they are going to make rule, and as per rule, if it is exceeding specified limit, that may be 20%, then they are going to provide mechanism whereby you will get a notice from the system, automatic notice, that your credit in 3B is not matching with 2B, not matching. You need to reply, and reply should be satisfactory. If it is not, then you pay up the difference amount of excess credit availed by you. If you don't pay, then of course next step would be recovery. So that is what they are going to strengthen. This ITC availed in 3B must match with GSTR 2B. Having said that, now next one would be supply of goods. The arrival counter duty-free shop at international airport. So when some incoming passengers coming from Germany to India, at international airport arrival center, they are purchasing some goods from duty-free shops. Now government has taken in principle decision that such incoming passenger purchasing some goods from duty-free shop at arrival center at international airport, it is going to be a gem supplies in the hands of duty-free shop for reversal of common credit in terms of Rule 42 and 43, corresponding change going to be notified. But this is what the recommendation coming from GST Council. Having said that, another aspect, like recently you have seen that GSTN is being included under PMLA. By inclusion of GSTN in PMLA does not mean that GST offenses become money laundering offenses. No way. GSTN included in PMLA only for sharing of information between GSTN and FIU ED. Sharing of information will help to both the department to take their corrective steps, investigation, and their proceedings. Of course, if any prosecution or any liability to be fixed, it should be fixed under respective law. But this inclusion is paving way for sharing the information. But another aspect which I'm telling you, I do not know how many of you have heard of it, but listen very carefully. Now they are going to include accounts aggregator concept is being introduced. And what is this accounts aggregator concept H? Now, you are filing your GST return on GSTN portal. So GSTN portal is having all the information about your GST related, your outward supply and everything. Now, this data can be shared with your banking channel as well. So your bank to whom you're approaching for getting loan, and quite obvious, we have seen that for getting loan, we are giving different balance sheet and different PL account. Different number with different numbers. Now that will not be possible. So these banks and financial institutions can take data from GSTN under the concept of accounts aggregator, and they can cross-check what is your exact GST turnover. So you can't mislead those who are misleading bank and financial institution. For getting loan, they can't do it. Way forward. Okay. Now coming to some of the circular. Circular got issued, and what is the relevance of those circular with respect to recommendation of GST Council, 50th GST Council meeting, the first one. Let's say you have wrongly availed IGST credit. Wrongly availed. And you know that when we got credit in our IGST credit ledger, CGST, SGST, as per compulsorily order of utilization, we need to utilize IGST credit first. So we have to exhaust full IGST credit. So wrongly availed and utilized. But we have utilized for the region portal is compulsorily utilizing this IGST credit, which was, let's assume, wrongly availed. But at the same time, you're having some total, you're having enough credit lying in your CGST ledger and SGST ledger. So question was, in simplistic way, let's say you have availed wrong IGST credit of 100 rupees. Let's assume. And you got 200 rupees credit lying in your CGST ledger and 200 into SGST ledger. At one point of time, when you're utilizing your credit, you may have utilized your wrongly availed IGST credit of 100 rupees because of order of utilization. But you're having enough balance lying in your CGST and SGST ledger. We as a taxpayer arguing before the authority, sir, even though I've availed a wrong credit IGST, but that got utilized because of order of utilization. But I was having enough credit lying in my other e-credit ledger. It is as good as I have not utilized that wrongly availed IGST credit. So you should not levy interest under section 50 subsection 3. What is section 50 subsection 3? No interest if wrongly availed, not utilized. So this is the example we were representing before GST Council, and a circular is being issued, circular number 192, dated 17th July 2023. And it is clearly saying, listen very carefully, if you have wrongly availed IGST credit and that is utilized because of order of utilization, but at the same time you're having enough balance in sum total of IGST credit, CGST credit, and SGST credit, then it will not be considered as if utilized. no interest leviable, and that too from retrospective date July 1, 2017. For your understanding and for your education purpose, if you have wrongly availed the credit and utilized, and you are not having enough balance lying in your other e-credit ledger, then of course you are required to pay interest only to the extent of amount utilized, and from the date of utilization, not from date of availment. And rate of interest would be 18% per annum. So this was the recommendation, and there is a circular also. Coming back to the next point, warranty replacement, and very simple. There is circular number 195 issued. What is this? I'm a company. Let's say I'm a company, LG Electronics India Private Limited. I'm selling LCD in the market, or I'm selling any product, washing machine, refrigerator in the market with warranty period. Warranty means in warranty. So what happened when I'm selling the product and giving warranty of 1 year? Then quite obvious, as a company, I'm undertaking that for 1 year, if my product gets any defect, then I will rectify that defect. I will provide you warranty services. And for warranty services, if at all I need to replace any spare parts and component, I would be replacing the same, and that too free of cost. I will not be charging any money from my customer. Question was, do LG Electronics require to reverse credit for these spare parts and components used for in-warranty services? Do we require? Tell me in a question answers tab, do we require? Do we require to really, reversal of credit on spare parts and component? Can you say in question answers tab, do we require? We do not require, because we have already included the costing and corresponding pricing of in-warranty services in my pricing when initially product was sold. So it is not FOC. Thereby, no reversal would be required. And circular number 195. Good one. Next one, ISD versus cross-charge. This you must listen very carefully. ISD versus cross-charge. Circular number 199. Very interesting and very important. Listen very carefully. We have seen that GST started from July 1, 2017, right? ISD and cross-charge are two distinct and different concepts. ISD is what? Input Service Distributor. I'm having, let's say, head office and 4 unit separately registered and in different state under same PAN number. I may be procuring certain common input services from third party, which is commonly used by my recipient units. And question was, if this common input services invoice comes to the head office, which is pertaining to my 4 recipient unit having 4 distinct registration number under same PAN, question was, can I avail credit at HO, head office? If I can avail credit, what I would be doing with that credit? Because there is no outward supply at head office. The concept of head office. ISD, Input Service Distributor. I can get ISD registration done at head office, avail the credit, and then distribute this credit only on common input services to my 4 recipient unit in order of utilization or pro rata turnover basis. This was the concept. But we have seen many of us has not taken ISD registration. What we have done, we have taken credit and raised the invoice, normal tax invoice, to the recipient unit, from HO to the recipient. And then we have passed on the credit portion to the recipient unit. Was it correct? So now this circular 199 has issued, and it is clarifying and saying, Bimal, whatever you have done in the past is the past. Now, henceforth, whenever you are procuring common input services from third party, which is used by your recipient unit, you should get your ISD registration done and distribute the credit. Second, this circular 199 is clarifying, if HO having CEO, CFO, common HR, common accounts, common IT team, are they providing any services to these 4 different units separately registered as a distinct person under same PAN number? In terms of entry 2, schedule 1, which is normally understood as a cross charge. Yes, we got a number of advanced ruling like Columbia Asia Hospital, Cummins India Limited. It is deemed supply. So deemed supply by HO to the 4 distinct person. The question was valuation. What would be the valuation? So we have to go back to Rule 28. Now this circular is a very beneficial circular. Please take the advantage of this beneficial circular. What this circular is saying, if you have not followed the cross charge in the past, meaning thereby you have not raised the invoice for the cross charge from HO to this 4 distinct person in the past, what they are saying, listen very carefully. They are saying that the value would be considered as a nil. Such cross charge only if recipient unit is entitled for full ITC, full input tax credit. And full input tax credit concept would be available only when we are into taxable supplies. If we are into exempted sector, education, healthcare, then quite obvious recipient unit is not entitled for full ITC. Then second proviso of Rule 28 can't be followed. Then this value cannot be nil. Third clarity which is provided in this circular is, whether salary need to be included. Salary need to be included in overall total overhead when this HO is raising invoice to the distinct person. If recipient is entitled for full ITC, then this HO need not require to include the salary cost of CEO, CFO, common HR, IT and accounts team. And to my mind, in exempted sector also. Now value can't be, and value is the important for which department is disputing. So if recipient is entitled for full ITC, it is also stated in the circular that supplier can pick up any value which would be deemed open market value as per second proviso of Rule 28, and department will not be disputing. So this clarified and beneficial one, but only problem lies with the exempted sector. For exempted sector, Rule 28 second proviso not applicable. In that case, you need to determine your total overhead cost. And you have to follow that concept that open market value, like, kind, and quality, 110% cost of provision, or residue method. But salary need not be included. So to that extent, we can say it is providing little more clarity to us. So this was ISD and cross charge. Now coming back to the 6 different components which we thought of we will be discussing today. So let me start one by one. In GST, and for which the circular is being also prescribed, avail the credit. Let's listen like this so that you can get the clarity. And you have to use the question answers tab for getting more clarity. Can I see yes in your question answers tab that yes, you all are aligned and you are listening all the pointers which I'm deliberating? Say yes, at least in a question answers tab, because chat tab is not working. All right. Thank you very much. So a lot of yes coming. So I'm thankful to each one of you. Okay. Now listen very carefully. For availing credit in GST, initially there were 4 conditions under section 16 subsection 2. First one, you as a buyer and recipient should have tax invoice. Second, you must have received goods or services. Third, your supplier must have paid taxes either through e-cash ledger or through e-credit ledger. And fourth, you as a recipient filing your GST return, GSTR 3B under section 39. These were 4 conditions, right? Credit to be matched. Debating and asking whether GSTR 2A is really relevant for availing credit. Please say yes and no in questions answer tab. Please say in questions answer tab. With the credit, Harsh, am I
Yes,
audible?
Bimalji. Yes, Bimalji. Now your video and yeah, audible is fine.
Okay. My question once again to my participants. Whether credit in the hands of buyer is really dependent on GSTR 2A, say yes and no. In question answers tab, yes and no. Two-way. To my mind, and listen very carefully. To my mind and listen very carefully. Two-way was never relevant. 2B got introduced from 1st January 2022. 2B got introduced. But we all know there are one circular number 183 is being prescribed if credit availed in 3B, it's not matching with GSTR 2A. It's not matching with GSTR 2A. So this circular number 183 has given some way forward. If it is up to 5 lakh rupees, you can take certificate from the supplier. And if it is more than 5 lakh rupees, you can take certificate from practicing chartered accountant or cost accountant. That is what this mechanism is being provided. Subject to section 16, subsection 2, clause C, that taxes are being paid. Now, this relevance of Circular 183 initially was for 1718 and 1819. After one Karnataka High Court judgment in the case of Wipro India Limited. And as per this judgment, it was stated that this circular number 183 can also be extended to 1920. Now they have issued the circular, and as per this circular, they are clearly saying circular number 193, they are clearly saying that circular number 183 is now being extended till 31st December 2021. Because 1st January 2022, 2B is relevant. 2B is relevant. So 2A reference and benefit of circular number 183 extended up to 31st December 2021. But let me ask some question and summarize these pointers with all of you. And listen very carefully. And you need to answer in a question answer tab. Of course, this circular number 183, now read with circular number 193, is giving a way forward for difference of credit in 3B versus 2A. It is benefiting you, you take the advantage. None is stopping you. But legally, we have discussed several times and we are concluding today also, 2A is not determining factor for availing credit. If I'm having tax invoice, received goods and services, my supplier has paid taxes, being buyer, I'm regularly filing my GST return, I can avail my credit. Do you agree? Say yes and no. Do you agree? Say yes and no in question answers tab. In question answers tab. Okay. All right. So you all are saying yes. Now, having said that, my next question. We have to find out the meaning why this problem was there. Problem was there for the region. Being supplier, I may have furnished B2B supply as a B2C. It will not auto-populated in GSTR 2A. I may have furnished wrong GST number of my buyer while filing GSTR 1. It will not be auto-populated in your 2A. I may have paid taxes through 3B but did not file GSTR 1. It is not going to be auto-populated for your 2A. Maybe a case it was interstate supply Delhi to Tamil Nadu IGST tax invoice showing IGST. I paid IGST through 3B but wrongly furnished as an intrastate place of supply mentioned Delhi in my GSTR 1. So 2A would be showing this amount but ineligible. So you as a buyer, as a recipient was not having any fault. It is all fault committed by the supplier. And supplier did not rectify the mistake within the stipulated time period also. Hence, quite obvious, there would be mismatch 2A versus 3B. But legally, we have concluded there was no provision under the GST law. The Supreme Court judgment, Bharti Airtel, clearly saying that 2A is only facilitation. Then 2A is not determining factor. But we all are struggling today. And now this is the point which I wanted to deliberate today. So you have to answer one by one. My one by one question. First question. From 1st January 2022, listen carefully, I'm telling you. Do you require to match your credit with 2B? Yes and no. Yes and no. Please tell me. Do you require to match with 2B? Please say yes and no. Yes, we have to. We have to. So Mr. Shekhar Jain is saying no, I don't agree with him. From 1st January 2022, There's no option. You have to match with 2B, first part, second part. If your supplier continue to do mistake, wrongly showing B2B as a B2C, wrongly furnishing GST number, or not filing one, it is not getting auto-populated in your 2B, and you will not be given credit. Believe me, you will not be given credit. It is part of now section 16, subsection 2. So Shikhar Jain was answering as no, I don't agree with him. Now, do you all agree what we concluded? We have to match with GSTR 2B. Say yes, then I will go to the next point. Say yes. In a chat box, I will go to the next point. Okay. Having yes. Now, next point. Now, our credit is dependent on supplier. You become all buyer. You all become buyer. Your credit is dependent on me, supplier. Now, you can't creep. If your supplier is not following the GST law and not correctly filing GST return, then you will lose your credit. So you have to really do some due diligence for your supplier. There's no other way route. Now, next question, which is very important, that supplier continue to make mistake. What you will do? There's no choice. You need to ensure that your supplier is tax compliant first. Second, your supplier used to do many mistakes. Sometimes he was not filing one. Sometimes he was having inherent mismatch, GSTR 1 versus GSTR 3B. Your supplier was having a mismatch of his credit in 3B versus 2B. Lot of non-compliances on the part of supplier. Now let me tell you, and this is what the way forward. I can tell you from 6 months to a year, these problems are going to be resolved one by one. And how it is going to be resolved? Listen carefully. I'm giving you 4 steps. These 4 steps already got notified, implemented, and you will find the results are expected in 6 months to a year. The first one. Let's say your supplier, you become all my buyer recipient. I'm your supplier. You have a challenge that Bimal is not regularly filing GSTR 1, so as it is not getting auto-populated in your 2A or 2B. Whether this option would be available with Bimal Jain throughout. This would be the situation. Sometime Bimal Jain supplier not paying the taxes through 3B. How you as a buyer can control the supplier? Listen carefully. Rule 59 sub rule 6 of CGST rule. 59 sub rule 6. We are in the month of July. If I want to file my GSTR 1 for the month of August, GSTR 1 supplier for August, supplier has to ensure that he has filed GSTR 3B for the month of July. If he has not filed 3B for the month of July, he will not be allowed to file GSTR 1 for the month of August, meaning thereby he will pay the tax. Second problem could be that this supplier used to make difference in a GSTR 1 and 3B. So in 1, he was showing 10 lakh. 3B, he was paying 1 lakh and having mismatch of 9 lakh rupees, right? As per 75 subsection 12 explanation, and that too from 1st January 2022, this is self-assessment tax. Rule 88C got notified, and department has said they will send the deficiency memo to Bimal Jain either to pay up this difference or reply for this difference which is coming out in 1 and 3B. If reply is not satisfactory, this money going to be recovered from this defaulting supplier without issuance of so-called notice. So meaning thereby, if Bimal Jain is habitual offender, then his life is not going to be easy. If once or twice he has made the mistake, then possible. But habitual offender, he cannot continue to do that, meaning thereby he will always, and most probably, we will find his 1 and 3B is matching 7512. Third steps. If Bimal Jain supplier want to file GSTR 1 for the month of August under section 37, he has to ensure he has filed all GSTR 1 till preceding tax period, till July. So sometime you were having challenge, the supplier has paid the taxes to 3B but did not file 1. So now compulsorily he will file 1 preceding tax period to file GSTR 1 for the current tax period. No choice. Then quite obvious, it will get auto-populated in your 2A or 2B. Both steps, section 39. If this supplier want to file 3B for the month of August, then he has to ensure first he's filing GSTR 1 for the August. So first GSTR 1. Then only 3B get enabled. And you can't have difference 10 lakh and 1 lakh. Once or twice, doable rectification can be done under section 37. But habitual offender can't carry on. So quite obvious, over a period of time, these mistakes, if it is intentional, there is no escape route, recovery mechanism. If it is unintentional, of course, he can reply back and correct it. But habitually, it will not continue. And thereby, your credit in the hands of buyer and recipient gets matched. But everything is dependent upon the supplier. So concept is know your supplier. Hope I'm clear. Please tell me in your question answers tab, you understood it. Please say in question answers tab that you understood it. Can I see yes? Clear to all? All right. Thank you very much. Right? Yes. So that I feel like you all are getting it. So this is one part of the story. Now coming. Have you heard of this AP High Court judgment 2 days back in the case of Thirumalakonda Plywood, AP High Court? Time limit to avail credit under section 16 subsection 4. I have created a separate video. Video is available on my YouTube channel. You can go and watch. The conclusion of this judgment is that section 16 subsection 4 time limit to avail credit, which is earliest of 2, due date of furnishing return under section 39, which is 3B for the month of September following the end of relevant financial year. So quite obvious, due date would be 20th October, which is now amended to 30th November, effective from 1st of October 2022, or date of furnishing annual return. In this judgment, 3 points were debated. Whether time limit as specified for availing credit under section 16 subsection 4 is constitutionally legally correct or not. Honorable AP High Court has said it is correct and no problem. Second challenge was section 16 subsection 2 start with non-obstante clause, notwithstanding anything contained in the section. So it was apprehended, it is overriding section 16 subsection 4. court has said section 16 subsection 2 and section 16 subsection 4 are separate provision, not contradictory. And section 16 subsection 2 is not overriding section 16 subsection 4. Further, it is being held that the section 16 subsection 4 is not violative of Article 14, Article 19(1)(g), right to trade or profession, and Article capital A. You can watch the detailed video. Even delayed GSTR 3B filed with the late fees after the due date specified for availing credit, you will lose out the credit. Delayed file with the late fees is not an excuse. It will not exonerate the time period as specified for availing credit. You can watch that video separately. This is for your information. So this was on GST and ITC. Next point. There's a concept called deposit versus advance. Deposit versus advance. Let's keep it simple. You're giving me, you have seen that lot many public sector undertaking entering for works contract services. Big project. So for entering these works contract services, there is some earnest money gets deposited. So let's say I'm your contractor. And you are my customer, contractee. You have given me 100 crore rupees contract for construction of particular project, immovable property, works contract services. You given me 10 crore rupees as deposit. Now, it is sometimes called earnest money, sometimes called deposit, an interchangeable term. Now, this deposit is being parked with me to give me a certainty, a contractor, that yes, you are the party who is looking for genuine services from me. So you have deposited this money with me. You have deposited this money with the contractor. Different commercials are being discussed. Sometimes this money which gets deposited with the contractor can be utilized over a period of time. Option 1. Second one, it gets refunded at the end of the contract, refunded by contractor to the contractee, interest-free. There's so many things we have seen in the, deposit versus advance. Let me ask one question to all of you, and you need to answer it. First you answer it, then I will connect the topic one by one. First you answer it. If deposit, which is only coming as a deposit and not appropriated towards consideration for supply of services, whether GST liable, please tell me yes and no in question answers tab. Question answers tab. Please tell me whether GST liable. I request you have to write down the answer in question answers tab. So deposit is not chargeable to GST, and there is specific proviso under definition of consideration under section 2 subsection 31 of CGST Act. If it is coming in the form of advance supply of services, then of course I can use this advance money as consideration. Whether GST liable, say yes and no in question answers tab. Yes and no. Yes. All right. So you all are aware of, and you all are answering correct. Thank you very much. Now here I want to do some more tests for you. Some more tests. Advance is for supply of goods and supply of services. I'm looking for the answer from you. If it's advance for supply of goods, GST liable, say yes and no. Once again in question answers tab. Advance against supply of goods. So Pramod is saying yes, no. Advance against supply of goods, no GST. From when? Which date? Please tell me which date? Which date? From which date? 15/11/2017. Yes. Virender Kumar Agarwal, Bharat Patel, Balakrishnan is saying October 17. No, 15/11/2017. So let's conclude. Advance against supply of services, GST leviable. Now, when I'm taking advance, let's assume I'm taking advance. Do I require to raise tax invoice? Please tell me. Do I require to raise tax invoice? Say yes and no. Tax invoice? No. I need to raise receipt voucher. Receipt voucher. Am I right? Say yes and no in a receipt voucher. Receipt voucher. When I'm taking advance, it is not sure whether supply is ultimately going to be intra or inter. Listen carefully, I need your answer. When I'm taking advance, that time it was not sure whether supply is going to be intra or inter. Which GST going to be leviable? CGST, SGST or IGST? Please tell me. Question answers tab, please. Which GST? IGST. IGST. Well done. IGST. So Mr. Akshay Haldar, IGST. Okay. Up till now, you all are right. Now, little more test. Little more test. Let's say I'm your service provider. Now I'm going to discuss the relevance of time of supply and last date when I should raise the invoice. This component I want to interplay. Advance against supply of service, invoice to be raised, or last date when I need to raise the invoice. I'm doing interplay. So listen very carefully. Let's say 20th July today, you gave me 10 lakh rupees advance for one legal opinion. 10 lakh rupees advance for legal opinion, supply of services. You have given me today. I raised the invoice on 15th of August, 2023. 15th of August, 2023. Please answer. GST on this advance to be paid in the July month or August month? Please tell me. July or August? Please. July or August? July. So whatever GST paid on advance will get adjusted with your GST liability for tax invoice raised in the month of August. Hope I'm clear. Say yes in a chat box. Say yes in a chat box. Say yes so that I get a clarity that you all are getting it. Okay, all right. Next question to all of you. Next question. I did not raise any invoice on 15th of August. Let's say 15th of August, I given legal opinion to you. Right? And I did not raise the invoice also. I raised the invoice sometime on 28th of October. 28th of October. So 3 date. 28th July, I got the advance, 10 lakh. 15th August, I given the legal opinion, date of provision of services. 28th of October, I raised the invoice. Please tell me, as per this matrix, GST to be paid by which date? Month is July relevant or August relevant or October relevant? Please. It is a very simple but complicated matrix. So maybe you can answer it July, August or October. Please try out once again. So some Parswa bus, they are writing August. No, it will continue to be July. You have paid GST on advance. Oof, receipt voucher. I just resolved it. So hope I'm clear. Say yes. All of you say yes in a chat box. Please quickly say yes in a chat box. I need answer in a chat box. Yes. Now listen. I have not received the advance. Assume I have not received the advance. I gave the opinion on 15th of August, and you paid the money to me on 28th October, 28 October. You paid money 10 lakh on 28th October. And on getting money, I have raised my invoice on 28th October. Please tell me when you have to pay GST in the month of August or October. Please tell me, August or October? August or October? Please, I want answer. I know that I'm asking something, but a lot of you may have some doubt. That's the reason I'm asking you. Somebody saying August, somebody saying October, somebody saying September. My answer is, for determining time of supply as per section 13 subsection 2 of CGST Act, you have to remember earliest of the three time of supply for making payment of GST, which is point of taxation. Earliest of the three. What are the earliest of three? Date of receipt of money. In the example I gave, I have not received advance. I got the money only on 28th October. So there is no date of receipt of money, which is 28th October in the instant case. Date of invoice, I'm raising invoice on 28th October, but date of invoice should be 28th October only when it is raised within a stipulated time period as per section 31 subsection 2. And the time period stipulated for raising invoice for the provision of service H, either before or after, but within stipulated 30 days from date of provision of services. So if 15th of August is the date of provision, then I must have raised the invoice 14th of September. If I'm not raising invoice till 14th of September, then a POT would be date of provision of service, which is 15th August. So in this given case, GST leviable in the month of August. Am I clear? Say yes and no in a chat box so that no doubt. Say yes in a chat box. I need yes. I need yes. Please write down yes in a chat box. Attend. Okay. Question answer step. Right. Well done. So I've said this answer to you. All right. Let me convert this example for supplier, of course. Supplier, of course. Now, e-invoicing provision has come, so we will discuss that component as well. But listen very carefully. Let's say today is 28th of July. I need to send the goods from Delhi to Tamil Nadu. You all are Tamil Nadu based buyer, recipient. I want to send the goods from Delhi to Tamil Nadu, 28 July. Do I require to raise invoice 28 July, or I could have raised after 28 July? So I'm giving three metrics to you. I can raise my invoice 27 July. I can raise on 28 July. I can raise invoice on 29 July. But goods are moving today, 28 July. Please tell me which answer is correct. Can I raise invoice on 27 July? Can I raise the invoice on 28 July or 29 July? Please write down in your question answers tab. So there's one, Jeffina Selvan is saying 27 and 28 July. Yes. For raising invoice, time to raise invoice, before or at that time? Before 27 July or at that time? supply of goods, where supply involves movement of goods. So I could have raised invoice on 27 July or maximum on 28 July, but not 29th. So this is the right answer, 27 and 28. But sometime, let's say e-invoicing provision applicable to me. And e-invoicing provision, just to recall, that initially we started with the threshold of 500 crore, October 2020, reduced to 100 crore, 50 crore, 20 crore, 10 crore, and now it is 5 crore. So any registered person having aggregate turnover exceeding 5 crore in any preceding financial year, starting from 17-18, and I need to compulsorily generate e-invoice. So this 5 crore threshold applicable from 1st August 23. So I need to check my aggregate turnover threshold starting from 17-18 till 22-23. Till 22-23. Can I take your exam? Say yes. If you say yes, then I will take your exam. Can I take your exam? Say quickly yes in a chat box. Quickly. Say yes in a chat box. Can I take your exam? Okay. Let's say my aggregate turnover was never crossing 5 crore from 17-18 to 22-23. This 5 crore rupees limit got crossed only from April 23 to July 23. Whether criteria of generation of e-invoice from 1st August 23 is applicable to me, please tell me. Yes and no. Yes and no. Answer is big no. Answer is big no. Please, why all of you are giving Rasmi Das? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I said in any of the preceding financial year, 17-18 to 22-23, it was less than 5 crore, then quite obvious, not applicable. So April 23 to July 23, this is the current financial year. So applicable only from 1st April 24. Hope I'm clear. Say yes in a chat box. Please quickly write down. Okay. Please say yes in a chat box. Okay. For aggregate turnover, you need to do sum total of total taxable supplies, exempt supplies, and exempt supplies includes your exempted by way of notification, nil rated, and non-taxable supplies. And even you need to add your export turnover, sum total of taxable, exempted, and export, zero rated. For all registration, you have taken under one PAN number, and all India basis, you have to calculate aggregate turnover. Say yes, at least say yes so that I understand that you are getting my point. Say yes that you got it. Okay. Now, having said that, now my question to all of you. Going back to the same question. Let's say my turnover crossed 5 crore and I'm supposed to generate e-invoice. I'm supposed to generate e-invoice. Even it is applicable for me on 28th of July. Applicable to me on 28th July. Can I transport goods by raising simple tax invoice and not following this IRN number e-invoice process? Only tax invoice. I'm asking one question. I'm supposed to generate e-invoice. I did not do. I'm raising simple tax invoice and moving the goods from Delhi to Tamil Nadu and generating eBay bill. Can I do that? Please tell me yes and no. Can I do that? Please say yes and no. Okay. Okay. So lot of big no, lot of big yes. Now listen, you need to listen to me now, because this was not an easy question, and okay, listen very carefully. At the moment, if I look at the provision, I should have generated e-invoice today. As per section 31, subsection 1, I should have. Because e-invoice is the real tax invoice. I'm not permitted. If I'm supposed to generate e-invoice, I'm not permitted to issue normal tax invoice. I'm not permitted. But IRP, invoice registration portal, is not restricting, please, is not restricting the data uploading of your specified particulars INB1 in JSON file. Even you can raise a normal invoice today and upload the same tomorrow. And the time lag is open on your IRP portal. They have issued instruction in the month of April, and they have said they are going to put timeline 7 days. Beyond 7 days, you can't. Let's say a particular invoice generated on 1st of April, only 7 days window would be given to you for uploading on IRP. But that was deferred on 1st May till 3 months, but still it is going on. So it is open-ended. It is only relaxation given. It is not legally tenable. As per legally, I should have generated my invoice on 28th of July. Only relaxation provided because sometime portal is not working, IRP portal, or some problem either or. So this window is kept open, and this 7 days time lag, which was supposed to be implemented, not yet implemented. Then a lot of us are even generating e-invoice with a time lag. Do you all agree? Do you all know about it? Say yes and no in a chat box. Do you all know that? Am I clear? Say yes, at least in a chat question answers tab. At least I should get that you are getting some good pointers today. Okay. All right. Maybe 5-10 minutes more, not more than that. 5-10 minutes more. 50th GST Council was not planned earlier, but to give my best and jada, I have included this point. That's the reason it's taking time. So go all along with me. Hope you're liking it. I'm taking your time, but trying to give my best, whatever best I could give it to you. Hope you're liking it. Am I right? So now what I was referring, that this e-invoicing portal is not having that bar, but otherwise I should have raised e-invoice on 28th July. Next question. If let's say I'm not generating e-invoice, which is supposed to be, I am only generating normal tax invoice, but I'm supposed to generate e-invoice as a supplier. Can you avail credit on that same tax invoice, which is not having IRN number? Can you avail credit? Say yes and no. Can you avail? Can you avail credit? No, you can't. Rule 48, sub rule 4 or sub rule 5, you can't. You can't. For you to avail credit, for buyer to avail credit, it is compulsorily, if supplier is supposed to raise e-invoice, he must be raising e-invoice, and e-invoice is the document on which you would be availing credit. Thank you very much. So a lot of you given right answers, so appreciated. Now some of the pointers, then we will come to the conclusion today, and we will take your question. Don't worry about it. We'll take your question. Let me take up the conclusion part. E-invoicing provision, I started with the time of supply, right? Connected with when to raise invoice. Connected with e-invoicing provision. Now, e-invoicing provision is applicable for B2G registered supplier to the government department. Even the government department or PSU who has taken registration for tax deducted at source, then also I need to generate invoice, and that is what the recent circular is clarifying. So B2G, B2B taxable supplies, B2B taxable supplies. And for my zero rated supply export and supply to SEZ unit or developer, applicable. And when it is not applicable, G2B, government to business organization. So government need not require. Local authority need not require. They need not require to generate. G2B. SEZ unit, not required. But developer need to generate. Bank, NBFC, financial institution, insurance company, need not required. GTA, goods transport agency, not required. Insurance company, I've said, now passenger transportation services, not required. Passenger transportation, railway, by air, bus, not required. Multiplexes cinema admission, not required. So this exemption is QR entity exempted. What all documentation should have IRN? Your tax invoice. Debit note, credit note pertaining to B2B taxable supplies. What document need not require to have IRN number? Receipt voucher, refund voucher, payment voucher, ISD invoice, bill of supply exempted, delivery challan, self invoice raised to yourself, recipient, need not required. So these are the parameters which I gave to you. What is the process need to be followed? You as a registered person would be raising a tax invoice from your own accounting, billing and ERP. And this invoice should be having specified particulars as per schema, e-schema INB01. Your ERP must be giving a facility that these particulars get converted into INB in JSON file. Here I can suggest you that Zoho Books is one of the platform through which you can do your accounting, billing, and convert the data into JSON file, and which is automatically transmitted from your ERP to the invoice registration portal. What IRP going to do? Deduplication check. After deduplication check, it is going to assign unique IRN number, invoice reference number, with QR code digitally signed and remitted back to the supplier. And this IRP again push the data to GSTN for auto population of GSTR, 1 for the supplier, 2-way for the recipient to match. And even this IRP transmitting the data to eBay bill portal for generation of eBay bill. If you're filling a part A, part B on IRP, you can generate your eBay bill also. 1 or 2 point, cancellation. If you have made mistake and you want to cancel your e-invoice, possible within 24 hours. But partial cancellation, not possible. Amendment on IRP, not possible. It is only pass-through portal. Any amendment, if you want for any correction to be done, it is to be done on GSTN portal. So are you ready for generation of e-invoice from 1st August 2023? If your aggregate turnover crosses 5 crore in any preceding financial year starting from 17-18. So this was connected with the e-invoicing. Now coming to the last component. Yes, today's webinar was focusing on GST compliance and how you become GST compliant consultant. I given some flavor. Many provision are from here and there. How to align these provision so as you can best comply with the GST law. And then if you know such compliances, you become one of the best GST consultant. I know we have crossed almost 2 hours. It was not planned initially. 50th GST Council recommendation was not initially planned, but I given all flavor with a circular number of 50th GST Council meeting. My last point to all of you. I tried my best. I given my best so that you get maximum advantage. You tell me in a chat box, first of all, tell me in question answers tab rather. I'm sure you must have benefited. You must have benefited. And you got a lot of good insight, good component, which you can pick up in your GST day in, day out activities. Okay, thank you very much for your word of appreciation, and thank you that you have taken out your time and attended today's webinar. Now, requesting hers to take it forward. Some question, I will try my best to respond you back.
First of all, thank you so much, Bimal Jain ji. It was very exhilarating and exhilarating as well, and educative as well. So, dear audience, I would say just hold on for a few minutes. We have a great announcement for you that Zoho Books, with collaboration with Bimal Jain ji, will be having something in Delhi next month. Before that, I just asked my product expert, Mohammed Danish, to showcase what all you can do in Zoho Books in just 5 minutes. And then we will have your question answer and the surprise visit in Delhi. Just wait for it. Thank you. Mohammed, over to you.
Hey, thank you so much, Harsh, for the wonderful introduction, and thank you so much, CA Bimal ji. Hoping this would have been an eye opener for many people who have attended this session, though. And well, let me just grab a few quick minutes of the audience to showcase how Zoho Books can complement and make GST compliance simpler with every business as such. Starting with a quick overview about Zoho Books. We are a GST compliant end-to-end accounting platform assisting business owners to manage their books of accounts at ease. Without any delay, let me just present my screen to give a few glimpses on what does Zoho Books has to offer you with respect to the GST handling. Well, I hope my screen is visible to everyone. So once you create an entity in Zoho Books, you just have to set up the taxes under the settings tab here. Now, this enables you to stay GST compliant and create GST compliant transactions. Post that, you can very well set up your online filing profile with just entering your GSTN username. And with Zoho being a GST Suvidha provider, you can also file GST returns directly from Zoho Books. You can just enter your GSTN username and enable the API access in the portal so that you're all set for the filing. Now, you've done your setup part. What is the next thing? Your masters. Now, in your business, you would have the goods that you supply and the services that you provide to your customers. And this might be at different selling rates and purchasing rates also, along with the GST percentages, which may vary. Now, let's create those items under the item master and just show a few compliances. Just give me a moment. Sorry for the disruption, everyone. So yeah, we were with the items here, right? So what's the next thing basically? basically. So you will have to, set up your masters, right? Now in your business, as I mentioned, you may have the goods which you are supplying and the services which you're providing at different rates, basically, correct? Now let's create those under the item master, which is available in Zoho Books. So let's suppose I'm going to just enter it as, pens, right? I choose the unit and all of these here. Now, along with this, I do also have an HSN option to search it from here. I will enter it as pens and I get the exact HSN code or the SAC code here. I will choose it from here, paste it here, and then I'll also choose the tax preference, post which I'll be filling in a few other details. And finally, your default tax rates. So which is your GST, which is CGST and SGST, or your IGST percentage. Now, once I enter all these details, when you choose this item, when you're creating a transaction, all of this GST related details, which is your HSN code, your GST percentage, all of these are going to be auto-picked. Let me just also show that to you. I'm going to the invoices. I hit the new invoice button. I'm going to choose the customer here. Once I choose the customer based on the place of supply and your place of registration of GST, the GST is automatically picked here, intrastate or interstate. And now I'm choosing this specific item. The taxes are auto-calculated. The HSN and the SAC are also auto-populated. Where when I talk about, we take care of GST compliance. So what is that, which we do here? Without an HSN or an SAC, we will not allow you to, save this invoice. That's number one. And number two, another basic checkpoint would be that we'll not allow you to, enter the invoice number if it is more than 16 characters, because that is the GST prescribed limit as such. So these are the few basic checkpoints which we ensure here. Now, what's next? We just have to save the invoice, right? Well, but what if I am applicable for e-invoicing? I will have to push this to the IRP and generate an IRN number, right? So can that be taken care of as well? Yes. I will just have to click on push to IRP. And just within 5 to 6 seconds, you get your QR code from the IRP portal, your IRN, acknowledgement number, and the acknowledgement date. So now, does it just stop here with e-invoicing? No. The additional functionality which we also offer is to create the e-waybill. If you're applicable to create an e-waybill, you just can hit on the create new e-waybill option. All details are auto-populated. Just fill in your part B and save and generate, which in turn generates your e-waybill number and gets it populated on the invoice. But, just a few other points which I'm iterating. Let's say you will have to create a credit note. Well, and the credit note which you're creating is based on an invoice which is of, let's say, more than a year or 1.5 years old. Well, now based on the GST rule, we will not allow you to create a credit note for that specific invoice, which is created very much earlier as such. Right? This is another checkpoint which I just wanted to mention out here. Well, so that these doesn't cause up an issue during your GST filing or probably at the end of the year for you. Now we have seen what is the items master which is available, and your sales transactions and your e-invoicing as well, correct? Let's move on to the final topic, which is GST filing. Zoho Books supports GSTR 3B, GSTR 1, and then GSTR 2A and your 2B reconciliations as well, and also your annual returns, which is your GSTR 9. Now these are just available as reports for you based on the transactions created in Zoho Books. Either you choose to extract this reports in the portal uploadable format and file it manually in the portal, that's one. Or you can also push these transactions to the GST portal from Zoho Books itself. which auto-populates the GST data in the GST portal. Either it may be GSTR1 or your GSTR3B. Well, this to have all of this, you just have to either sign up for Zoho Books, or if you are an existing user of Zoho Books, all you have to do is start using Zoho Books to the fullest. And if you need any assistance, we are very well available here. And that's my time, everyone. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. Yeah.
Thank you for a lovely demo on Zoho Books.
And of course, thanking each of the participants joining today from their busy schedule, and thanking Zoho, Hers, and KP in absentia, and the colleague who has made the presentation on Zoho litigation applications. So thanking each one of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bimal ji. And as I said, there is an important announcement. Before that, all this video will be uploaded in Zoho Books handle and will be mailed to you. And Bimal ji is addressing an intimate group of people in Delhi on 25th of August. Further details to follow. And next month's webinar, we would be covering more questions, more personal questions on Bimal Jain ji about his career, why he opted for CA. He is an advocate as well. And what is in future lies for CAs. So thanks a lot, Bimal Jain ji. It was a lovely insight, and thank you all for joining.
Thank you. Thank you very much.